Okay, so we are working on making pear preserves, and my coworker, I gave her some pears and she shared the pear preserves with me, and they were delicious. So we're going to try to replicate what she made in a recipe. So follow along as we make pear preserves, and if you have any tips, please feel free to share them with us. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I've got a bowl here and I've just put some water in it. Now this isn't part of the recipe ingredients, but we're gonna put the cut up pears in here so that they do not turn until we're ready to actually start on the recipe. We do have to cut the pears up in really small pieces, really tiny slices. So I'm not sure what you think. Is that too thin?
Probably.
All right, so that is on a 1 scale for the mandolin. Gonna probably go a little bit bigger on a 2. This is a Pampered Chef, just the easy mandolin. You just gotta watch your fingers. That's probably better. I want it pretty thin. This was my grandmother's. This was our pea shelling pot. I'm going to add water to this so Brad can help me peel them. So you can see I'm cutting these about that size. So you can see okay, my head's going to be chopped off for a minute while I'm doing this, but I just want you to be able to see us working. Alright, so this is another bowl. I'm going to dump this out. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just rinse the pears really good and then put them in the pot. Empty, like not put any water in the pot. Okay, I'm going to make sure because I need to put them in a large cooking pot and then add lemon on the pears and sugar. A lot of pears. All right, this is clean, and really these pears are not dirty. I'm really more just getting them out of this pot so I can just get the water out of them. Okay, I should weigh it. Kason, will you go get me the blue scale really quick? 5 pounds, 9 ounces. Yeah, I'm gonna need to add in 4 cups of sugar. So I'm gonna put 1 in the bottom and then 3 over the top. I may sprinkle it throughout while I'm putting this in the pot. Holy cow, this is a lot.
I don't think you're all gonna fit in there. No way.
I think you're right. What am I gonna do? Do we have a bigger pot? I'm not gonna fit in my pot. them?
To where?
Shop.
Okay, let's look. Oh good, they're still white. Oh wow, they really, yeah, they really shrunk, which I'm glad, because I really did not want to have to cook in 2 pots. And yes, this shrunk too, so great. And I'll leave the lemons in there while I cook.
The recipe says I need to add more sugar and cook for 3 to 4 hours. I'm looking for the consistency to become syrupy. So that's what I'm going to be watching for and stirring. I really wanted to use this pot because it has a good thick bottom to hopefully help it keep from scorching. I know I'm going to have to stir a lot.
Got my Rita food chopper. I'm just going to chop just a little bit.
All right, I measured it out. We're at 0. Let's see where we're at now. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. We're at 23 pounds. So 5 pounds, 10 ounces minus 23. So what is that, like 17 pounds and 5 ounces? Somewhere in there? That's probably not right. I'll get Brad to double check my math. I'm just gonna put this on. It's not quite medium. I'm just gonna start it up slowly and then I'll increase the temperature, but I'll probably cook it on medium most of the time. I'm gonna be in the kitchen for a while today. It's gonna be good. It will be worth it.
We are about an hour into the cooking. I have just been constantly keeping a check on these. I'm going to do a little taste test in just a minute to see. I did add about another cup or so of sugar. I just want to make sure they're sweet enough.
Okay, so we're almost 2 hours into the cooking process. The recipe says to cook for 3 to 4 hours. I'm looking at the syrup consistency to get it like I want it. I'm going to taste test it just to see. I did have a 4-pound bag of sugar, and this is what's left of my 4-pound bags. This is what they're looking like. That's how they're looking. All right, so we're going to taste these. That's good. I did add a little salt. I just sprinkled some in there. So this is where it's going to be more like your preference. Some people don't like things as sweet. Some things want it pretty sweet. I think we're at a good flavor right here. So now we're just waiting on it to thicken up, and then once it starts thickening, then I'll start jarring.
It's 11:15 almost. We started about 8:45. I've turned the heat down to really low simmer because it was just boiling really good. So we're about 3.5 hours in. I'm probably going to start canning. We're about 3.5 hours in. I'm probably going to start canning pretty soon. It's about quit boiling. I'm going to turn the heat back up just a little bit because I do want it to continue to boil. So when I'm jarring, I need this super hot so that I won't have to do a water bath. So that's why I need to get the heat back up on this. But I think I'm going to get ready to go ahead and get these in the jars. Okay, I have this pot getting hot so I can sterilize my jars and my lids for the jarring process. That's just clean water, and I'll continue to refill that as the water gets low. I'll show you a better picture of that later. And then here are the pears. The syrup, the liquid is not as thick as I would like. I'm hoping that it's going to thicken on up here in the next little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and start the process of getting my water bath or the water ready for sterilizing my jars. Okay, so like here I've got, I'm just gonna put that down in there face down. All right, I've got my lids. I'm gonna put these in there so they can be getting hot, and I'll move those around so they can also be getting completely submerged. It's really important whenever you do this process that you have plenty of clean, because you don't want to burn yourself. You have plenty of clean dishcloths and towels so that you can, if you need to swap them out, they get dirty. Because I'm actually going to take a clean cloth and wipe the inside of the lid so that there's no food that's up on the edge messing with the lid before, while I'm waiting on it to seal. So that's an important step. So yes, I use a fork to go into the hot water to get my lid out. One thing you do not want to do is to push on the lid. You don't want it to force it to seal itself. Once it is sealed, it will pull itself down and you'll hear it pop. Hopefully I can get that on video for you. It might take it a few hours before they actually start sealing, but if you look at our zucchini, my mom and I, we made zucchini relish. I did a video for that for you. I'll put a link up for that so you can see it. She does not water bath. There are some things that do need to be water bath, but my coworker and my friend, she told me that she didn't water bath her jars. This is how she did it, and I'm like, oh, well, I know how to do that. So, yeah, so this will work. And if for some reason I have one that doesn't seal, we'll eat that first.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. Oh, that jar is hot. Oh, I'm using the wrong ladle. I'm thinking. Whoops. Whoops. Get some more juice. Little bit out. Be able to get that down in there.
Hillary Moore just texted you.
Okay.
She said the bunny is perfect. That's something else.
Or did she like my message? Maybe she liked my message.
I don't know. Golly.
It's got to be clean.
Why does the lid have to be hot?
So it'll seal. Okay. Now you can show these over here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, we are here with the finished jars, and they're still warm, but they're not so hot that I can't touch them. And I'll go later on tonight and I'll actually touch the lids to make sure that they're sealed, and the ones that are not, like here's one that this doesn't have anything, and you can see how this one's not sealed. Once they're sealed, they won't move. They'll already be sunk in on their own. So, and that's how it sounds when it pops, kind of. So anyway, there we go. I've got the kitchen pretty well cleaned up. It certainly is a job getting all of this done, but it will be well worth it, and I will share some pears, but most of these will stay in, and you'll need to retighten your your bands, because these definitely will loosen up as they cool off. All right. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention. I'm sorry, I keep thinking about things I forgot to tell you. So, and I'm filming this on different days. I didn't film for you and talk to you on Monday when I initially put this up because I looked like I was not presentable. Let me put it that way. So these are, again, the jars. The reason why I wanted to do a second batch is because the first batch was not sweet enough. The first one that I did, that I used the lemons, it was sweet. I'm tasting it. It's sweet. I'm tasting it throughout the cooking process, and we think it's perfect. After we finished with it and I jarred it, it cooled, we opened a jar, we ate it, and then we were like, this isn't as sweet. This doesn't taste as sweet as it did when it was hot and it was in the pot. And that sort of frustrated me because I felt like I messed up. So anyway, so when you're making this, just keep that in mind, that it may not taste, or in our experience, once it cooled, it was not as sweet as it was when it was in the pot. So if you want it to make sure it's sweet enough, I encourage you to add a little bit of extra sugar. Really though, about 8 to 10 pears, you're going to use a half a lemon and then 3 to 4 cups of sugar, and then go from there if you want it sweeter. You can add cloves, you can add nutmeg, you can add cinnamon, you can add other flavors if you want those flavors in there as well. I just wanted it to taste just like pears off the tree, except for really sweet. Okay, now for the next clip about the different colors. Okay, so the first batch I made I peeled them on Friday night. I processed them Saturday morning, and then Sunday night I did another batch and I processed those Monday morning. And I wanted to show you the difference. So I did not have a lemon the second batch, so I used lemon juice. These 2 jars right here were from the second batch that I used lemon juice, and this is from the batch with the real lemon. Do you see the difference? I wanted you to see the difference in color. I wanted you to see that. So if you have any questions, again, let me know. And I'm going to post either the link or the recipe instructions in the video description. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you put up some pears with this recipe, please comment and let me know. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please give a like and subscribe to my channel. I would totally appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video.